All right, go ahead, I share.
I just can't see what I'm doing.
Okay, so welcome to the Institute of Spiritual Enlightenment. And I'd like for you to just center yourselves and find that comfortable place where you say peace. Be still and know that you are who we have been made. Find your courage, find your wisdom and knowledge to step forth. Be the voice, be the power behind the idea. We invoke our guides, guards, ancestors, and the ancient ones to be here with us now, surrounding us with their wisdom and their knowledge. As we spend this time in oneness and harmony with the universe, we say Ashe,
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 Ashe.
Ashe.
So it is. Well, this morning I want to start off with a video. I just want you to see this video, and it is on why I think the world should end. And I just thought it was very profound, and it's only about 4 minutes.
The world is coming to an end. The air is polluted, the oceans contaminated, the animals are going extinct, the economy is collapsing, education is shot, police are corrupt, intelligence is shunned, and ignorance rewarded. The people are depressed and angry. We can't live with each other and we can't live with ourselves, so everyone's medicated. We pass each other on the streets, and if we do speak, it's meaningless robotic communication. More people want 15 seconds of fame than a lifetime of meaning and purpose, because what's popular is more important than what's right. Ratings are more important than the truth. Our government builds twice as many prisons and schools. It's easier to find a Big Mac than an apple. We can find the apple is genetically processed and modified. Presidents lie. Politicians trick us. Race is still an issue. So is religion. Your God doesn't exist. My God does, and He is all loving. If you disagree with me, I'll kill you. Or even worse, I'll kill you to death. 92% of songs on the radio are about sex. Kids don't play tag, they play twerk videos. The average person watches 5 hours of television a day, and it's more violence on the screen than ever before. Technology has given us everything we could ever want, and at the same time, stolen everything we really need. Pride is at an all-time high, humility at an all-time low. Everybody knows everything. Everybody's going somewhere, ignoring someone, blaming somebody. Not many human beings left anymore. A lot of human beings, plenty of human ignorance in the past. Not many human beings. Money is still the root of all evil. Yet we tell our kids, don't get that degree. The jobs don't pay enough. Good deeds are only done when there's a profit margin. Videos of the misfortunes of others go viral. We laugh and show them with our friends to laugh with us. Our role models today, 60 years ago, were examples of what not to be. There are states where people can legally be discriminated against because they were born a certain way. Companies invest millions of dollars hiring specialists to make little girls feel like they need makeup to be beautiful, permanently lowering their self-esteem because they will never be pretty enough to meet those impossible standards. Corporations tell us, buy, get this, get that. You must keep up, you must fit in. This will make you happy, but it never does for long. So what can we do in the face of all this madness and chaos? What is the solution? We can love. Not the love you hear in your favorite song on the radio. I mean, real love, true love, boundless love. You can love each other from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed. It's an act of kindness because that is contagious. We can be mindful in every interaction, planting seeds of goodness, showing a little more compassion than usual. We can forgive because we introduce your love with that grudge you hold against your friend, your mother, your father, and your birthday. Instead of trying to change others, we can change ourselves, we can change our hearts. We've been so lies, brainwashed by our leaders and those we trust, and not recognize our brothers and sisters into exhibit anger, hatred, and cruelty. But once we truly love, we will meet anger with sympathy, hatred with compassion, cruelty with kindness. Love is the most powerful weapon on the face of the earth. Robert Kennedy once said that few will have the greatest debate in history, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events, and when the total of all those acts will be written in history of the generation. So yes, the world is coming to an end, and the path towards a new beginning starts within you.
that's why I wanted you to see this. It starts within us. We don't realize all the things that we have to do to the spiritual enlightenment was created to assist you in that process, that very process. Because the internet is making you close off from people. Even now that we have started broadcasting, we have less attendance because everybody can sit at home and look on TV, you know, and they can subscribe to it. And that's wonderful, that's great, and I love you for doing it. But we need the bodies, because we have to realize that as humans, we need one another. We need that interaction. We need to feel us. Other people don't necessarily need it. They can work in isolation. They can work in coldness, and they'll be okay. We have to get back into our own African mind and understand time again, and it's very hard for people to understand when they change. And the thing that I have to say is that when you start coming here to the Institute of Spiritual Enlightenment, that's the first change. If you were told to come, brought here, felt the vibration, you felt something, then your spirit was saying, this is what you need now. This is what you need. You need that microscopic internal understanding of who you are, because you are going to effectuate change in the world. Because it has to take place in you. Because so many of us out there have been bombarded with other stuff, other information, that they are confused and they follow the masses. We're not going to have a lot of people here. It's not going to be a lot of people in here. If we get 15, 12 people in here on a Sunday, that's a lot for us, because we're the changing few. So we have to make the change. It's not going to happen with the masses. It's going to take them too long to get there to understand. So when you get here and you start doing the work is within inside of yourself. You got to change your thinking. You got to come outside of your box that you've been thinking in for so long and say, let me look at this a different way this time, you know? And look at, even in the email when I said, you know, when you start going within yourself, there may be some things that you don't like about yourself. There's always things that we don't like about ourselves. I'm too short. I'm too tall. I'm too black. I'm too fat. My arms don't look right. My hair don't look right. I need long hair, short hair. You're always going to be whatever it is that you're going to be. And you can't be afraid of seeing yourself in the totality of who you are, regardless of what it is. None of us wants to show our imperfections. None of us wants to say, I'm not well, I'm not feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I got a rash on my arm. I can put my arms out today. So what? It's a part of the process for me to understand who and what that I am. What did I bring back from another lifetime that I have to deal with? And we all have them. But when we find the courage to go within and find out, well, why do I do this? Why am I experiencing my life in such a way? And yes, it is uncomfortable when you first start doing it. It is very uncomfortable. But you've got to walk through it. Can't go around it, can't go over it, can't go under it, gotta go through it. And when you go through it to the other side and you find out, well, that wasn't so bad. I'm not such a bad person. I'm a good person. I can do this. No, I don't want to do it by myself. But if I keep on keeping on, somebody else is going to join me. The Institute of Spiritual Enlightenment has been here 10 years, and basically I have done this basically on my own. And people have come and people say, I'm going to help you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I show them my vision. It's a lonely road at the top. It really is. It really is a lonely road. But you've got to understand that to pull the power of all of the melanated people on this earth, that is a tremendous job. And I have to first start with your consciousness, of you understanding who and what you are as that divine being sitting there in your mess. Whatever your mess may be, there you sit in it. And you say, I can't do nothing. They may kill me. I'm too this, I'm too that. And every time you say it, you just go sink lower and lower into yourself. But if you take my hand and I take this person's hand, we take another hand, then we become a viable force. We can no longer just sit around and just talk about these things. We have to change here. And when here change, then this can change. When we change our thoughts, when we start thinking about what it is that I'm thinking about, and how come I keep thinking the same thing. And that's our problem. You can't see your own thought. You can't see that you're saying the same thing over and over again. I have to say to you, Jackie, girlfriend, you keep going with the same guys. Girlfriend, that's what you're doing. What do you mean going with the same guy? This is Charlie this time. Charlie different. No, Charlie got the same stuff. Because you're not going to see your stuff. You need me, I need you. We need one another. But it's so hard to get us to see that, and then we come and we stay stuck in our little boxes and we don't want to make the change. I've had so many students to come and start taking the class, and then once they start taking the class, this don't feel right, this don't look right, I don't have time to do the homework, I got to get a job, they give me all the excuses they want. I got cancer. So what? That's the best opportunity to come and study if you have cancer. Because that cancer is manifesting in your life to show you something about yourself. That leukemia that you have is showing up in your life to show you that there's something about your blood we have to deal with. If you got roaches in your house, those are old ancient thoughts that need to be eradicated. So they're there to teach you something. And all of these things, we have to start understanding. It's wonderful to do rituals. I love rituals. I really do. I love to do rituals. Rituals are wonderful. But we have to do the work that is an internal thing. That eternal thing that's within us. The change starts here. And when I start being different, then you start being different. We all can do a different thing. And then we have to make ourselves do it, because if I go home and I'm just reading a book and I have an idea about this book, I say, oh, that was really good, and I put the book down, but I'm still thinking the same thoughts. I just added some more stuff, because that's usually what we've just done. We just added some more stuff, but we haven't changed. We haven't made ourselves do something different. And then when you get weak about the thing that it is that you're supposed to do, if it's, I don't know, smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol, when it's time when you're confronted with the drink or confronted with the cigarette, what is it that you do? You go back into that same habit. But if you're around like-minded people, somebody will say, don't have it right now. Don't smoke that cigarette. Don't take that drink. Don't date that man. Don't eat that food. There she go again with that food stuff. But that's what we need. If you look about the economy and the way that our society does to us, when we're looking at TV, you're being bombarded 24/7 every day. The only time you hear me is when you come up here. So 24/7, if you're watching television, you're being bombarded with subliminal messages. If you got the smart meter on your phone, you're being on your house, and they're tapping in. We just had the conversation about our telephone numbers missing out of our phones. So they got your information, so you're being worked on 24/7. So don't you think that we need one another? Don't you think that we should be up here in masses working on ourselves, for ourselves? Because even with the 6 of us who are here, if we went out into a community of church stompers, they beat the heck out of us. They take that Bible and really, literally, they wicked drunk. Where is it in the quote from the scripture? They be quoting scripture to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I'm strong, Fofa's strong, Jackie's strong, and Beezy's strong, and we go as a cohesive unit, you can't destroy that. And this is what we have to understand about who we are as divine people. As the H-U-E, humans. There's certain things that we don't do. but we've been trained to do because of our thinking. So we have to make that change within inside of ourselves. And the only thing I ask is that you find one thing that you want to do. Like maybe change not saying try anymore. That I'm not going to try. That's one of mine, and the chef gets me all the time. And he's so sweet. He'll just say, huh? I go, what? You're going to do what? Huh? Try. What is that? And I go, oh, okay. But you have to have somebody like that to kind of give you that nudge, because when we leave here, the majority of people don't care about that. They say try, maybe, oh, I'm sick, or I can't do, you know, they gonna kill me. What am I gonna eat if I don't eat a piece of steak? Because that's what they say, because they don't know. And I felt the same way when I made the change. And that's what I'm telling you. I've made a lot of changes in my life. The first time I said I was going to be a vegetarian, the only thing I was eating was baked potatoes. And I was trying to put everything on that baked potato. Baked potatoes, carrots, maybe some celery or that, and a salad. Maybe some peas, string beans, something like that, you know what I'm saying? But that was about it. I didn't know anything. So I had to start going to vegetarian restaurants, seeing what how they prepare, asking people, how do you prepare that? What do you do? So now, you know how to make a little bit more. You eat a little bit more. And the thing is that when you're eating whole, healthy foods, you don't eat as much anyway. You may start eating a lot in the beginning because that's what you're accustomed to, filling the body, because you can cook them greens until they're soggy. So you eat a lot of them, but when you're eating them raw, you're not going to eat as much. So the change that's going to happen within us is going to take a little while. And you can't give up. That's why we form a school, a group, so that your group can help you move it along. People get new jobs. Well, I got a new job. Because I got a new job, I can't get there on time. That was your excuse. If we know that we are God and that we are creating everything, then if I'm creating that, then I've already created myself the excuse. I'm only going to do this for a semester. The next semester, I'm going to say, because I know I'm going to get a job, because I'm God. I already know it. The problem is that we don't know that we already know, because we keep telling ourselves, I don't know. Every time somebody asks you something, I don't know. Well, if you don't know, who knows? But in the first place, you don't want to take on that mantle. I'm not God. We don't want to take it on. Because that's sacrilegious. I can't create a flower. No, but I have the most beautiful flower in the world right between my legs. See, we don't understand. We are creators. We got to turn our whole thinking, our whole consciousness upside down, inside out. We're not always going to agree, but at least let us come together and hear, so that we can disagree in harmony to bring unity. We got to do it, folks. We got to do it. And yes, I'm going to see your shortcomings. You're going to see my shortcomings, because I'm human, you're human. We're all human beings here together who've been trained by another thought form that has literally destroyed us and who we are. So we're going to have to unravel all of those thought forms that we had and what we thought was correct and what we thought was right. So where do we start? Within the self. We start within ourselves. What is it that I am doing that's attracting these things or bringing these things to me? And when you ask that thing up to yourself, you may not be able to see the whole picture. You're only able to see half of the picture. And that's why we need our mirrors out there to reflect it back. Because when you go out into that world, I guarantee you, it's lonely. It's very lonely. And like I told you, I was at a fish fry, and I was very lonely, and I had, it was a whole bunch of people there. It was a park full of people. And they were having a good time and wonderful. And I invited them all to the Emerald Ball. I said, you should come out to our Emerald Ball next Saturday. We're going to have some drumming. We're going to call in the ancestors. And if you haven't heard Mona Cherie calling the ancestors, then you don't know what it's all about. So she's going to be doing that. You know, we have some awards, and you have to dress. They said, well, what's the dress? And I said, kingly and queenly fashion. Somebody said, well, what's that? I said, your African attire. That's why. Because obviously these people are used to a cabaret, where everybody got a little liquor on the table, they drink, they get a little silly. Lord, child, look at out there on that floor, act like a fool. They love it. But we can act like a fool too and have fun in the development of our spiritual natures. This is work, and it is serious. And it's time that we start understanding. It's time for us to stop being just entertained by that gentleman in the video that I just showed you. It was wonderful and it was great. He was very poetic. It said something. It made you think. Okay, so now that thought. What do we do with that thought? We just say, oh, well, that was a good video. Let me pass it to my friend. Let me give another friend a copy of the video. Let them see it. But what do we do? Because we have to start doing something for ourselves. Too many of our young men are being killed, and we are getting calluses on our skin because we don't care anymore. Well, we say that we do care, but if you care, you do something. And I'm not talking about marching in the street. I'm not talking about singing songs and making protests and having a wonderful funeral service. And please, somebody get that bottle-stopping Al Sharpton out of the way. Because the only thing he does is quell your energies. We need to come together as a group and really talk about some things that are really happening in our society. We need to tell our little boys that they need identification on themselves when they're 12. And we don't need the government's ID. They tell you that you need the government ID and you don't need their ID. If you have a car with your picture on it and you belong to an association, that is your ID. But they'll tell you that your ID is your driver's license. Everybody doesn't have a driver's license. So we have to start thinking about what it is that we're thinking about. What are we doing? Yes, ma'am.
There was something I didn't get a chance to read in depth until the last night. Facebook, they have this thing. They say that your number on your Social Security card or birth certificate is your is a bank.
Yeah, okay. Let's not get into that because you're going to take me off. Okay. But yes, you're absolutely correct, and that's a part of this. But see, we're learning all this little stuff. I learned that there, and that there, that there, that there, that there, that there, that there. And then we're going to try to pull it together and make it something and carry it again, like another package. Because that's what we did in this other thought stream that we were in. What we're trying to do here at the ISE is to narrow down your focus, because this is the focus. Your spiritual being is the focus. You cannot separate spirit from state, as they say. How can I separate my spirit from my physical body? So who I am spiritually is the foundation of me, and that's going to be me here partying. That's going to be me here in school. That's going to be me here in church. You cannot separate it, but they make you think that it's a separate thing. So if you're not thinking correctly, you're not producing correctly. You're not having good thoughts. You can't control the thoughts in your mind. You say, well, I sit down and meditate and hit another thought, hit another. So you got a monkey mind. Because that's what they show us on TV. Commercial. They give you a little excitement. They take you back over here. And your mind stays active. So we have to learn how to take control over that. People say, no, I can't control. You can control every aspect of your beingness if you would take the time to do it. First, you have to say yes. Yes, I can. And the minute you say, yes, I can, then you start doing those things. You may not want to lose a whole bunch of weight. Somebody told me I was fat. And I'm saying, I'm fat. Okay. But I like this fat the way that it is. This is my fat, and I'm comfortable with it. But in their perspective, I'm fat. Not in mine. Do you understand what I'm saying to us? You have to get to a place where you're comfortable in your own skin and you can speak your authority about who and what you are, and then demonstrate who and what you are in that authority. The problem is that we are afraid. And we don't even want to say that word because that word implies weakness or inferiority to us. But if I can say it and say, but I'm going to change this aspect about me, That's the difference. But if you stay weak and inferior in your own mind and you don't do anything about it, then yes, you are. You're self-fulfilling prophecy. You've got to make the change. You've got to do it. And no, it's not going to be an easy road. But it can be an easy road. And we have to make that change. So you start with self. And if you're doing it in your home, quietly by yourself, it's going to take you another 50, 60 years. But if you want to do it quickly, efficiently, then you come to the Institute and we start working together. Because, you know, even though I teach the classes, David teaches the classes, I learn the most. I love it. Because it makes me be who I say that I am. I can't get in front of you and say, meditate, and I'm not meditating. I can't say, read, and I'm not reading. And I'm not understanding, and I'm not digest the information, and I'm not bring it back to you, just like I saw showing you this video, and showing you the video, and then saying, okay, what do you think about it? What did you get out of that? What are we going to do about that? Otherwise, it's just mind candy. It's just visual masturbation. Because that's all it is. You know, oh, that sounds good. That was good. Yeah, okay. You know, we did that ritual. That was wonderful. Felt the energy moving up and through me. Okay, wonderful and great. But now, what am I manifesting? If I'm God, if I'm the co-creator, what am I doing? Human beings do. We manifest. We create. And we first create within inside of ourselves. We create the change within inside of ourselves. And we must do it. We have to for the survival of our grandchildren, of the yet unborn. Because they're going to be coming in to a certain rhythm and to a certain cosmology that we lead for them. Because if we're thinking that we're black, too fat, too big, too ugly, and unsatisfied, all of the diseases, you know. Because, you know, even when I said diseases and I looked around that park, I saw a lot of people who were in pain, unnecessary pain. But they didn't know. They didn't know. Stop eating that pork. Leg hurting, you know, walking around on the cane. And it's not to make any of those people feel bad because they just didn't know. You understand what I'm saying to you? They just did not know. And if I were to go over to them and say, hey, you know, you can take some moringa and that'll help you out a little bit. What are you talking about? My doctor told me I had to take this medication. I got 15 different medications that I'm taking. And sometimes there's a little proudness about it because I can afford my medication. I'm not too poor that I can't afford my medication. And a lot of times we do this to ourselves. This is our thinking, and we're not even consciously aware of the thinking that or what we're thinking. So when we start making this change, yes, that change is going to feel a little bit uncomfortable with inside of us. It's going to feel very uncomfortable inside of us. But what I'm saying to you is I'm here to offer my hand, my assistance, and I tell people, call me any time of day or night. You got a problem? Call me. I don't say that I know all of the answers, but I am there for you. I have that type of relationship with myself and my Creator. My lifestyle is such a way that if you call me, no matter what I'm doing, even if I'm driving, unless I'm on the highway, I'm not going to talk to you. But if I'm driving around D.C., hey, I got you. I'll call you back. You call me 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, we got to go look for my lost dog. I got you. And I tell you this all the time, and I am not one of those people who are saying something to make you feel better about yourself, but to tell you the truth about yourself. And most of us don't want to hear the truth because we got to do the truth once we hear the truth. We got to start moving. This mind games that we're playing with ourselves, this has got to stop. It really, really has to stop, and we have to do. And we know that it's not going to be a bunch of us. I don't care what type of education you think that you have or that you don't have. I don't care whether you're employed or unemployed. I don't care about those things. I don't care if you say that you can't write, you can't do whatever it is. I don't care. Unless the only thing I care about is that you're saying I want to change me. I want to work here on this. We have got to do it. It is not going to be an army of us doing this. But I guarantee if 5 or 6 of us have come together and we start working together, others will join. They'll say, well, you know, I don't know much, but I believe in what you say. Plug them in somewhere. Because the masses of the people are sick. All you got to do is just go into a Costco's or any store and just watch people walk around. They don't have no teeth, they're hurting, they're aching. If you stand close enough to them, sometimes they start telling you. They'll tell you their problems. I know they do me, unless it's just my energy that they, you know, because I know a friend of mine said, Dorita, you know all these people. I said, no. I said, why they come over talking to you? I don't know, but I guess it's the love that I emanate from myself that they come to me and they ask me certain things in the store. And I'm like, I don't know how you work in the store. She said, yeah, I know, but can you tell me about it? I'm like, and then all of a sudden the answer does come, and I'm like, well, what is that? Because it's not Dorita saying it. It is the spirit, the energy. And what I want you to do is to start opening up yourselves to that energy, to that knowledge, to that wisdom. Yes, sometimes it feels like it's a lot of work. You know, I got to do homework. I got to read a book. I got to do these things. But doing those things collectively and then living your life, because your life is going to be the outward manifestation of those things that we do in class. Things start happening. They start coming together. I was telling the chef, we came up here and we did a meditation on, I believe it was Tuesday. And it was the wildest meditation that I had in a long time. The energy from the cosmos came down on me, and it made a circle like that and wrapped down my arms, then came back, wrapped around my body, all through my thighs like that. But it was like a snake's movement, but it wasn't snake. It was, I don't know, warm, velvety. It was the bomb. Then I felt something being taken off of my left arm. I felt a lot of different things. And that morning when I woke up, the song, every little thing is going to be all right. I was saying, where is this coming from? Because I was feeling a little bit down about the Emerald Ball, about what's going on here at ISE. So I said, Dorita, you got to change your thought. You got to think differently. But here I am making myself think differently, and I have nobody else to assist me in that process. You understand what I'm saying? If we're not there for one another, then it makes us feel a little inadequate. And when I, supposedly the leader or the person up here in charge, feeling inadequate, and I don't want you to feel that vibration. Because to tell you the truth, when I think about you, because I think about Sophia all the time, I don't necessarily call her, but I send her energy. I hope she's feeling it. And I hope my energy that I'm sending to her is not quaking in my own insufficiency. But this is what we have to do for one another. Because when we go out there in the world, the majority of those people are not thinking like we are. They're not even feeling like we are. A guy looked at my bracelet and said, oh, you got arthritis? I said, no. I said, copper can be used for more things than arthritis. But that's all that white man knew to say. But that's what they only know what they think that they know, and they don't know. They don't know. All of this was just a sham. It was a farce. Now we got to get back into our own minds and understand, because there are things that we see every day. Every day we see it, and we know it's wrong, and you can say it out your mouth. That's wrong. But you're scared to make a judgment because you don't want to be against the majority. And usually if the majority are going that way, it's wrong. It's wrong. And there are things in our society right now that we know that is just wrong. Taking the seeds out of your food and telling you you're going to be healthy and nutritious by eating a seedless food, by eating something that's genetically altered, by putting plastic in your organic body, and then you say that I'm a god or I got good thoughts. You cannot have it. You cannot. If you're wearing plastic and eating plastic, don't you know that they are subconsciously changing you and morphing you into something else? Your babies are drinking formulas. That means that they have calculated chemically something to put in that bottle to give your baby a false start of healthiness, when that baby should be drinking off the mother's breast. to get some of the nutrients that it needs. But if that mother's been eating at McDonald's, what is she giving them? We have to start getting serious about this. The men as well as the women, we have to understand. We have to start loving one another and having respect for one another. That's why I say they should legalize prostitution, because, man, if you want a wife and you want to sow your seed, go over there with the women who have decimated themselves for that pleasure. Go over there and pleasure yourself as much. But when you come here, you got to come correct. And that's how we women have to carry it, that they're going to come correct here. If you're coming here with the bull, I don't want it. Just walk on by. There'll be another, walk on by. And we women have to start demanding the respect. We have to start teaching our little boys how to protect me, how to take care of me. We are not doing it. And they are running rampant in their madness thinking, well, them women is crazy. I don't know what's wrong with them women. But it's true. Because your mama didn't know, so you don't know. We all have to get into this together on a real serious tip and start working with one another. Because we will not survive it. I don't care how many black men impregnate white women, and we know that, 20 years down the road, it's going to come back, that baby's going to be black. So they're self-annihilating themselves because they are sick and tired of hiding their faggot men. It's the truth. Because we saw that in the last couple of years. Every time one of those senators were getting ready to retire, he bring his wife out. I love her, but I really love him. And those women have been enjoying, the gilt rocks, the big house, get one child, and it was okay. And he can go out and do whatever he wants to. And I go do my exercise. I got my house. I'm pretty. I'm married. I'm a woman because I'm married. And you hear him say, oh, my husband. Because that's what makes me qualified. Because I got a husband. Those women are now saying, I want a real man. So they're coming after yours. They don't care if he broke. Because they got credit. They don't care. So they're even waking up. So why won't we as mothers and fathers of this earth, in the beginning was the Word and the Word was with God, and we were given dominion over this earth to start doing something to take care of this planet. We can work in harmony with the earth, with the planet, with the animals, with the plants, the bees, everything that's here. We work in harmony with that. But we have to find out, well, what does that mean? And we can't just go out there and say, okay, let's get with the dolphins. You got to get right here first. Because when this is right, when I step out, I'm going to make right decisions. When I make a decision about the dolphins or the bees or the earth or the cows or whatever it is that we're doing, I'm going to make right decisions. I'm going to take in that all of us have to cohabitate in here together. Now, how can I do that sufficiently and without disturbing them or disturbing myself? We've got to do this. Don't think about the enormity of the challenge that lies ahead of us. Think about the progress that we will make. We can do it. It doesn't take much. We've been getting up here, we're saying the same thing, and I'm starting to feel like a Baptist minister. They get up, they make you feel good, they grab their crotch, and the women holler, oh, that's my minister, oh, Lord, have mercy. And he ride around in a big car. I am asking you to pay my bills. I'm not asking you to give me money for a car. I'm asking you to keep this center open. I'm asking you to attend the functions that we have here at this center so that we can effectuate a change within ourselves and effectuate a change in our universe. We can do it. A small group of us can go to any of the housing projects and say the same thing that I'm saying to those people down there to start waking them up. We can do it, and I've been asking somebody, come and approach me, because I'm not going to say it anymore. You have to approach me and say, yeah, I want to do that. Let's go and do it together. And we do it together. Those are our people. We shouldn't be walking, oh, I want to go down there. Them people, well, they don't know. They don't know. They're a generation of people who've been on welfare, and that's all they know. So what else are they going to do unless somebody comes down and tells them something different? And the majority of the people who go down there, what do they want to do? They want to take them to the church. Give your money to the church. We got to do better. We got to change that rhythm. We got to change that cycle. There's too many of our children that are being affected in a negative way. And if we don't start the change, because it doesn't come from their schooling, because their schooling tells them, get yourself inoculated, put a live virus in you. That was alive 5 years ago. Does that make sense? We should be embracing that new virus instead of inoculating our bodies with it. And we loved it and felt good about it. You know, it's the same thing like when I was at this picnic and the Yellow Jackets were out. Everybody was fighting the Yellow Jackets. And I was just sitting there. And they said, you don't see that bee by you? I said, yeah, I'm in his house. What? I said, I'm in his house. So I'm going to sit there and be quiet. And I asked him to leave me alone. I said, that's why they going over there bothering y'all. And I was just saying that one little thing made me different from the rest of them. Because everybody, one lady said, well, I'm going to kill him now. I said, but he's in his house. So she killed him. She killed the Yellow Jacket. They moved the table 3 times. I mean, it was crazy. But that's what I'm saying. That we will be up against that type of thinking out there in the world. But we have to be strong, and the only way we're being strong is to make the change inwardly on ourselves. And then as we make that change inwardly on ourselves, collectively we go together into the community so that we can effectuate a change. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a big group. But make the start. Because that internet, those TVs, and the movies that they're putting out are bombarding our people constantly. And they'll take a negative and turn it around and make it appear to be the right thing to do. Like the young men, they think that it's the right thing to show their butt. And they say, well, that's fashion. That's what they say. And if it's fashion, it's okay, because it's a fashion statement. And if it's a fashion, it's okay. It's fashion, right? So you can do that. You know, and I can show all my breasts and show all my legs, and then if you're looking at me, what you looking at? I'm looking at your legs, girl. I mean, I've looked at women sometimes and what they have on, because I can't believe it. That's what people wear in the street. But we do, and we have to learn what to wear and how to present ourselves so that we can get the respect that we say that we want. We have to understand that when our men are getting shot in the street or being dragged behind, you know, in a truck, they're being dragged, and we see that, and we don't get upset about it, and we just sit on our emotions, then what does that do? That pushes out a cancer or a dis-ease within your body, somewhere in your either your thinking or something. It has to manifest somewhere. That's a universal law. So if I'm thinking negative thoughts, negativity is in my life. If I'm thinking something positive, then my life is positive. So we have to look at these things and see the effects of what is happening to us and how we can start stopping the change, you know, and making a change differently for us. Because I guarantee you this, if anybody out there start making a change in your own life, see something happen in your life. See something happen. A lot of times women change their furniture around a lot in the house, and when they make a change, something changes in the household. If you have an old drawer, and that drawer is just, everything is just kind of thrown in there, take that drawer out, go home and take it out, and clean it out. See if something positive that happened in your life. And that's in a little way. That's a little thing. So if you do something bigger, the change is bigger. That's what I'm presenting to you. We have the power, but we got to do the work too. And the work is not as big as we think that it is, because it starts with inside of ourselves, and the change that we make with inside of ourselves, and what it is that we do. Thinking that one different thought, making yourself stop. I'm going to stop thinking about that. I'm going to do something different. It's like actors do. They can make themselves cry at a drop of a hat, and then all of a sudden they drop tears up and they're going to play a role. Play your role with who you are. How would God be? How would God present itself to the world? If you were God, what would that look like? How would you present yourself? Would you be cleanly, morally? Would you hold your shoulders back, tuck your tummy in, you eat good food, good water, you walk with authority, you look people in the eye? That's God. God ain't walking around like this. We have to understand what it is that we're doing and what it is that we say that we're believing. You know, are we all the way here? Am I halfway there, or am I in the middle? But sometimes we're in the middle too, and that's okay. Stay in the middle a little bit. It's going to get uncomfortable, and you're going to have to make a decision. Either I'm going to go back, which is usually the wrong decision in anything that you do if you're going back. They say sometimes you got to take a step back. Sometimes you really do have to take a step back. But that's going to be the hardest back step that you take, believe me, or you move forward. And when you move forward, yes, this is uncomfortable because it is an unknown. But trust it. Because when you're trusting it, in actuality, you're trusting you. Your divine God self. Because you would not have put yourself in that position to make the decision to go backwards or forward if you didn't know already the outcome. And that's the beauty of what I'm learning. I know everything. That's why I can tell you, call me, because I know that y'all really not going to call me. And I can make myself available to you at 2, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever time you say. Even when I was working, I'm available to you. And then you think they're going to call me? Nah, they're going to say, nah, she probably sleeping. So what? I'm one of those people, I don't require a lot of sleep. I don't have any children, so you're not going to wake up any children. You know what I'm saying? This is my life, for real. It's not about a joke. It's not about you buying me a new car. Although I wish you would. I wish you would love me that much and buy me a car, pay my house, like they do those other ministers. Those other ministers have meetings, and they don't like to see me come. They do not like to see me come because they know I'm going to give them something different. And the main reason why they do what they do, because they don't want to educate their congregation because they're afraid they're going to leave them. And the car note won't get paid. The house note won't get paid. And that's the real truth of it. So they keep you feeling good playing the music because the music sway you to do certain things, and you give more money. And that's their control over you. That's the control of the 501c3. Because when you have that 501c3, there's certain things that you can't say and you can't do. So that's still the government's control. So we're being controlled and manipulated in a lot of different ways. And we have to start understanding what it is that's being done to us and start counteracting those things that are happening. They can't take this. They can kill it, this physical body. They can't kill the spirit. And what I'm asking you to do is to change yourself from within. Make the difference. Make that movement. And together we can change this for all of our people. And then we can do the hands across the ocean and change it for the Africans over there because they've been colonized too. They've had a very rough time. That they're believing stuff that they should not be believing and giving away their power. Yeah. And there's some things that I want to say, but I'm not going to say it because we're on the internet and people are listening. Well, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you guys who are here. And like I said before, all you people who are out there, I'm glad that you're there, but I wish that you were here because then we could really be real with some of the conversation, you know? So with that said, and understanding that there's a change is happening, but the change that is happening is a change that's happening within you. We can either do it together or we can do it separately and apart, and it can be a very slow process, as it has been a very slow process of that change. It's been a very, very slow process. Because when we can see our men getting killed, and we can see our men getting feminized, and we're not having a problem with it, that's a slow road. That's a slow road to destruction. And I am too proud of a person knowing that I'm God walking on this earth in my authority and who and what I am, and to go out like that, no. No way. Even if I have to be the martyr. And I've said that before too. They could kill me. I don't have any children that's going to feel bad. You guys probably won't miss me. You'll have a nice cry and y'all go someplace else. Yeah, I'm real. So all I'm saying is be behind me and push me out there, you know? We got to do it. We got to do something. We just can't come up here and hear stuff. And, you know, I call it audio masturbation. You know, sometimes we read and we say, oh, wow, wow, wow. Have you read this book? And you're going to make people feel that you feel good, and that's it. And it's done. And that's why they call us useless eaters or trained monkeys. We have got to make a change. Every other group of people have made a change and made it better for themselves. I love Barack Obama. I think he's a wonderful, wonderful person. But like my Korean cleaners man told me, he said, Ms. Dixon, you think there was a Korean in the White House that he would not do something for the Koreans? I said, you're right. Some law should be passed about, you know, even though stand your ground, I believe it, but just to kill our boys the way that our young men are being annihilated is crazy. And everybody knows that it's unjust. Anybody in here don't know that that's unjust? Now the hand will go up. So what is being done? Do you think that Al Sharpton is out there talking on our behalf to say that we should be making a change for that? I think not. Al Sharpton, they call him, hey Al, your people are getting ready to destroy Missouri. Go down here and stop them. Okay, boss, how about those tickets for the golf game on Saturday? You got them for me and my wife? We want to go. We want to bring 6 other people. Can you swing that? Stop them niggas, you got that and the airplane fare. Okay, boss. He go and do what he has to do. He done lost out of weight. Looking good, smoking his big cigars. And he's even said it. Why shouldn't I enjoy the luxuries of life? Because Al Sharpton is getting paid to keep you quiet and in check. And that is the truth. They know what they could do to make a change, but they ain't gonna play that game. So we as a small, quiet little group, we have to do it. And you start with yourself. You start listening and hearing what it is that's being said to you. And are they saying what you think that they're saying? Because that's all Al Sharpton is doing. Because when the first guy down there in Florida, stand your ground, everybody knowing that white man's outgone, and he's still a fool. What is it going to take? How many of our young men have to die? And that's not, you know, when we see 1 or 2 isolated, that's not like the only ones. I mean, it's probably, what, 15 or 20, because I had asked Monique at one time, I said, can you find out how many men have been just beat up in jail? And she said, Doreen, it's too many. I said, what? She said, it's just too many. You have to narrow it down some more. I'm saying, what? It's happening all over the United States all the time. Half of it doesn't get publicized. So my question is, why are these particular ones being publicized? Because they want you to be mad and to save their butts. Because when you get angry about something that's happening in your own community, you're going to save their butts too. It's okay. I know Jesus is going to take care of everything. I'm going to wait on God. I'm waiting for God to bring me a husband. I sit in my house and wait for him to bring that husband to the door. I got this pain in my leg, but at least I can walk. So God is going to take it away in God's time. Next time you're seeing both of the ladies hurt. I guess God didn't get the memo. Oh, girl, but I'm alive. Can't walk, but I'm alive. I said, that's what God wants for you. We don't understand the mysteries of God. Okay. Check you on the other side. Come on, folks, we got to start waking up, and we got to start listening and looking at things and not being spooked out about this God thing, because it's keeping us paralyzed. It really, really is keeping us paralyzed. Everything that happens here on this earth from the physical, I still want to see the man in the birth of another woman. That's what I've been looking for. If he got 12 ribs, then what happened? What happened? We ain't being birthed from the ribs of man anymore. I mean, what? That was in the Bible, right? He put him in a deep sleep, and took one of his ribs and made a helpmate, a woman. So how come men aren't missing a rib? Did anybody ever think about that? Interesting. The change that has to take place is the change that has to take place inside of us. We have to start doing that work. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, but a lot of times it's uncomfortable because we don't want you to see how messed up we are inside. But we're all messed up inside. All of us got something. Because we wouldn't be here if we didn't. We would have made our transition and left here. So we all got something. So we might as well come clean and say, okay, just like the alcoholics do, they come up and they say, my name is Dorita and I'm an alcoholic. You know, you might as well come up, right? You might as well come up and say, hey, I'm stubborn in my thinking and I want to make a change. Or I don't know, I just think this way about women and I'm stuck on that. I want to make a change. Or I think this about men and I want to make a change. Hey, we all got something. And you don't necessarily have to admit those things, because I know you say, oh my God, I have to admit it. No, you don't. No, you don't. But it's going to be shown anyway. We will see you just as you're going to see me. That's why I don't hide anything. I don't hide anything. A friend of mine came into a bar, this is when I don't know, maybe 30, and she said, oh, Reverend Dorita, you in a bar? And I said, yeah, let me buy you a drink. Because they thought that that was going to embarrass me or make me feel some kind of way. No, it's not going to make me feel some kind of way. But if you see my butt out there drunk acting a fool, yes, that's going to make me feel some kind of way. And that's what I'm saying to you. We all do things. We all have lives to live, and you should live your life and you should enjoy yourself. But the main thing that you should be doing and working on and your focus is changing you. Keeping those things that you like about yourself, changing those things that you can about yourself. Nobody's saying that you have to stay the way that you are. If you want something different, do something different. You can't expect something different and keep doing the same things. Change starts within us. Within us. And my invitation to all of you out there in TV land is to come on back in, the Sisters with the Change. Support the activities of the Institute of Spiritual Enlightenment. We're having our Emerald Ball. Come on out and support it, really, and have a good time with some good people, with some people who have like-minded consciousness. That's the other thing, staying around people who have like-minded consciousness. Because when you get around knuckleheads, man, you start acting like a knucklehead too. Because that stuff is contagious. Mm-hmm. So with all of that, I say, Ashe. Ashe. Thank you. I said, y'all always tap other people, they never clap for me. He said, you know why? Because you always started. I said, okay, I'll do my own. Because I never noticed it. But see, that's what I'm saying, how we help one another. Okay, announcements. I've talked about the Emerald Ball. That is this Saturday coming, from 7 to 11. The tickets are $20. Anybody who is in, what is that class? 102. All your tickets have been paid for. So if you're in 102 class, your tickets have been paid for. Yes, your tickets have been paid for. You had a mysterious donor said, I'm paying for that class. I said, oh wow, and that's 6 people that are in that class, so the tickets paid for. So if you're in that class, and now if you're in that class and you bought a ticket, please let us know so we can give that ticket to somebody else. Okay? Yeah! We ask that you dress in a kingly fashion, meaning, just wear something African. It doesn't have to be green and white. Those are just the colors of the Institute. But wear African attire, come on out. Mona's going to be calling in ancestors. Dr. Wright should be there with some of his organic drinks and special lollipops. So come on out and have a good time. Then on October 3rd through the 5th, we have the silent retreat. Now, that's a wonderful time to get quiet with inside of yourself without talking. But we're going to eat together because we have two cabins. We have a cabin for the men and a cabin for the women. And each day we'll switch into different activities in the cabin where we have to do it in silence. You can write notes. You can go canoeing. I think they have horseshoe in there. They have a swim park there. So there's a lot of other activities that you can do. We're going to be doing some Tai Chi. I think there's going to be some Reiki, some heart touch, different things that will be happening throughout the day. You just have to sign your name and say what time you want to attend those various activities. But you just can't talk. You can smile. And then First Fridays for women, we won't have a First Friday in October because we'll be on the silent retreat. But we're going to do it on the second Friday this time. Yay, we're going to do it on the second Friday. A lot of information has been coming into me about how to really formulate this group. Even when Spirit told me to start doing this, to work with the ladies first, I have a video. It's not that long. It's maybe about 20 minutes. So I'm going to ask the ladies, please be on time so we can see that video and then have a conversation about it. It's a very poignant video just about women, who you are, and what it is that we're demonstrating to the world. I think that's all of the announcements we have. Of course, we always have meditation here on 12 noon, right here, Tuesday through Friday. Shep and I have been here, and we've been rocking it with the meditation. It's been wonderful. Even, just come meditate and go back to work. Go back to the plantation. We understand. So come on down. Any other announcements?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is aware that the brother that's in charge of appeal, the financial group that was reached down in David Marshall,
Yes.
they say he's missing. He hasn't shown up at his home or his job or anything for the last couple of weeks.
It's a week today.
Okay.
So who was in charge of what?
Appeal. That's the name of the organization that he was running.
The credit
He was
union.
trying to start a credit union. He's missing.
You got the signs they have about time.
It's all along Georgia Avenue. They got sign posters up. But they say he's been missing for over a week.
Yeah, the song of Mac. He's part of Black Notes.
Okay.
You seen that song?
Yeah.
Tribute to the ancestors.
Yes.
They meet down at the Washington.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but he's missing.
Oh, wow. See why we need to keep in touch with one another? Because, see, they have the weapons and the things, but we have to also know that we have weapons too. But we have to fortify our weapons with inside of ourselves so that we can protect one another. I'm going to screw the box here.
Are you taking questions?
Yes.
Okay.